Hello, my name is Jamichael, and the podcast you're listening to is called Marked by Words, the place where themes and lessons leave a mark on you, just like a tattoo. Welcome to the first episode of Season 3, the season where we reflect on resentment. Today's episode deals with the subject matter of avoidance. How people can use it as a tool so that their reality doesn't have to be faced, and the harshness that its ripple effect can create, both directly and indirectly. The name of this story is called Worth Keeping. Making my last turn off of the highway made my stomach begin to turn. It had been a while since I'd made this trip, though it's one that's so beautiful and full of great moments. There's a sense of heaviness that always seems to be peppered throughout. It's complicated. I began to pull my phone out as I slowly entered the driveway, opened my call log, and tapped on the most recent name. The next door neighbor was outside, watering their plants, giving a calm and yet curious look into my car. I stared back as I pressed my phone against my ear as it began to ring. An assortment of screams and yells burst out of the house. "Jamichael!" My siblings yelled out in unison. A smile quickly spread across my face. I tapped the red button on my screen and stretched as I put my phone into my pocket. My younger siblings ran towards the front of my car, jumping, dancing, and still yelling in unison. "Jamichael's here! Jamichael's here!" I chuckled a little bit as I put my car in park and turned it off. As soon as I opened my door to put a foot out, I was pounced on by all my brothers and sisters, followed by a large gust of laughter whistling about from all of us. "Y'all are getting big," I laughed. "I'm not sure how long I'll be able to take carrying each of you around." "All right, y'all, get off your brother," a voice zipped out of nowhere. "Come on, y'all. Get up. We have to get ready and go for Matthew's soccer game." "Aww," my siblings sighed in unison. But eventually small giggles began to bubble up from them as they tried to wait their mom out. Layla finally walked to the side of my car and pointed a finger towards the house. "Y'all, let's go." Everyone finally inched out of the car and began to head back into the house. "I bet I make it to the door first," Joseph yelled. "Nuh-uh," Nova responded, and everyone darted. Layla approached me with the biggest smile as if she was meeting me for the first time and gave me the biggest hug. You'd think I was her kid too. "It's so good to see you. I'll take that bag." "Gosh, how long has it been?" I responded as I rubbed the back of my neck. "Almost 2 years, I believe." "Has it really?" Layla asked. "It's felt like it's been much longer. And look at your hair. It's so long now. What made you decide to grow it out?" I stalled a bit. I felt like it was just time for a different kind of hairstyle. I've had a low cut most of my life, plus, who knows? There could be a point when I have a cul-de-sac and lose any opportunity to grow my hair in any fashion that I would like. A puzzled look appeared across Layla's face. "Oh, um, yeah, a cul-de-sac," I laughed. It's like bald in the middle with Hair all around the sides? What? Layla laughed hysterically. That is so funny. I'm not sure if I heard that term used before. Um, I'm not sure how popular that phrase is or isn't, I responded. But once I heard it, it's kind of always just been a funny reference for me. Layla and I continued laughing as we walked towards the house. Once we made it a few steps away, the garage door began to open. Oh, I guess your father is out of the shower, Layla mentioned. Let's go through here. Towards the end of the garage, I could see Robert holding down the button that opens it. What's going on, young man? He asked. Not too much, I responded while entering the house. Daddy! Look at Jamichael's hair. It's so long now. Can I grow my hair like that? Maybe when you're 18, Rob responded. Once I entered the house, I saw Layla running around, making sure the kids had all they needed. Snacks, books, a change of clothes, the whole nine. Matthew, don't put your cleats on now. Wait till we get to your game, she shouted. Come on, y'all, let's go, Robert said firmly. Everyone in the house stood at attention and followed his command. You want to ride with us? He asked, looking in my direction. Sure. It'll save me on gas, I responded. The drive was somewhat quiet for the most part. Towards the end of it, I felt a hand traveling through my hair and a loud voice saying, Are you going to cut your hair soon? I turned around to meet the shy look of Nova. Well, I'm not sure, Princess, I responded. I've had short hair for a really long time. How long? Nova called back with a big smile. Really long, I said. Longer than you've been alive, actually. What? Nuh-uh. Nova laughed. Yes, huh? I said in a mocking voice. So that's why I figured I'd grow my hair and let it be longer for a while, 'cause I hadn't really experienced it before. Nova nodded. Is that okay? I asked. Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? I repeated as I began to tickle her. Yes! As the truck was put in park, Joseph and Matthew unbuckled their seatbelts and jumped onto my back. Hey, that's our sister! They shouted. She's my sister too, I laughed. Matthew, Layla shouted over the chaos. Your team is on the field and starting to warm up. Tie up your cleats and get out there, okay, buddy? Okay, he responded with glee. Yes, ma'am, Layla called out. Yes, ma'am, Matthew responded while quickly leaping out of the truck with a water bottle half his size in tow. The rest of us walked out to the soccer field with all the other essentials. Once we found a good spot to set up shop for their game, Robert spoke up. I'm gonna go run to the concession stand. I thought we brought everything we needed from the house, Layla responded with a look of confusion on her face. I'm just getting some stuff to incentivize the kids on any good behavior, Robert called back. Come on, Jamichael. I might need some help bringing it back. I sat up from the lawn chair that I was using and joined Robert on his journey. Once we made it to the concession stand, we were greeted by a very loud voice. Rob, what's going on, man? How you feeling? All good, man, Robert responded in a calm and cool demeanor. Hey, man, let me just get a bag of Skittles. The purple ones. Ain't no problem, brother, the man in the concession stand responded. And as he turned his back to retrieve Robert's order, he stared into a specific corner for a while as if he somehow lost something. After looking around for a few moments, he managed to find what he was looking for in the opposite corner of the room. Laughing at himself, he grabbed the Skittles and quickly delivered it to Robert. "Hey, Sam, I want to introduce you to my son," Robert said as he tapped the back of his hand on my chest. I looked at Robert and his hand after making contact with me, but my attention quickly shifted over to Sam. As I looked him in the face, he seemed to have this level of excitement that couldn't be measured, a smile so big that it managed to cover half his face. He quickly stuck his hand out, almost as if he was pining for the opportunity to shake mine. I took a step forward and grabbed Sam's hand. "Jamichael," I said firmly. "Nice to meet you." A look of astonishment suddenly cascaded over Sam's face. "Wow," he said. "You really look like your daddy." I slightly turned my face away and made a soft attempt to pull my hand back, but Sam held on to it, somehow managing to show even more excitement over his recent discovery. "No, young man, you ain't heard me," Sam claimed, still holding my hand and using his other to point in my direction. "At first, I couldn't really see the resemblance like that. Maybe because you got all that hair. But once I got a closer look at you, it can't be denied. Boy, you look just like Robert. Robert Jr., huh?" "No, it's Jamichael," I responded. "Besides, I like my own name." "Oh, excuse me," Sam joked. "My bad, brother." Our hands slowly released from one another, but we still happened to lock eyes, looking intently at one another as if we were trying to see who was going to play chicken first. "Nice to meet you, young man," Sam smiled. "Yeah, same," I responded. Walking back to the soccer field, I took a look at my hand that was held so intensely by Sam, and I took another look at Robert, who seemingly managed to laugh off the interaction. As soon as we got back to the field and our area that we set up shop, Layla quickly stood up from her seat, handed Robert and myself a bottle of water, and gestured at this neat pile of blankets. I shook my head with a smile and Layla nodded, quickly sitting back down, and continued to watch the soccer game. Within the first 5 or so minutes of the game, Matthew scored. We all jumped and cheered recklessly, of course. Once we calmed ourselves and sat back down, Layla leaned over towards me. "Did you ever think about playing soccer?" she asked. No, not really," I responded. "If I was exposed to it at an early age, I'd probably end up playing it for some time. I mean, I think it's a great sport." "Yeah, it's been really great getting to watch Matthew try and enjoy different things," Layla proudly stated. "Maybe in another few years, we'll have him try out basketball. He can be like you and your father." I made an attempt to force a laugh and nodded in agreement, while quickly turning towards the game. Before the end of the game, Matthew scored again, making the final score 2-0. And, of course, we had to go crazy. Once the final buzzer sounded off, Matthew ran towards us with the biggest smile on his face. Layla picked him up with much cheer and said, "Are we getting ice cream tonight to celebrate?" "Yay!" Everyone cheered. On the way back to Robert's, the truck was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. The kids devoured their ice cream so quickly and soon afterwards dozed off. After a while of driving in complete silence, I took my phone out and started to scroll through my emails. My phone lit up as it started to ring. I quickly answered the phone and whispered, "Hello?" "Gee! Why are you whispering?" "Stop yelling," I responded. "What are you doing? Everyone is here, and we're waiting for you." "I'm with Robert and the rest of the family," I said. "My little brother had a soccer game. We all rode together. We got some ice cream afterwards. I brought a change of clothes. Once I get back to their house, I'm going to shower, and then I'll head your way. Okay?" "All right, G. I'll see you soon," he signed off. I quickly tapped the red button on my screen and tucked my phone away. While taking a look over at Robert driving, Layla asked, "Hey, Jamichael, why do you call your father by his first name?" I looked around the car as if she was asking this question to someone else. "Pardon?" I asked. "Why do you call Robert, Robert?" she repeated. "You don't call him Dad or Pops or anything like that? I feel like I sometimes even see you wince when he's mentioned as your father. Why is that?" For a few moments, nobody said a thing. I began to sit up and adjust myself in my seat. I cleared my throat and suddenly I heard, "Well, that's the thing about the relationship Jamichael and I have, is that it isn't really the conventional type," Robert interjected. "Our dynamic is more evolved. It's much more layered, multifaceted even. We're also like allies, friends." Robert turns to steal a quick look in my direction. "What do you say, young man?" I sat up in my seat once again, focus bouncing back and forth between Robert and Layla. Clearing my throat once again, I simply said, "Absolutely. I totally agree." The remainder of the car ride was silent. Once we made it back to the house, it seemed as if my younger siblings had so much energy all over again. Running, yelling, wrestling, and asking for ice cream, as if they didn't have any after the soccer game. "Your change of clothes are in the guest bathroom at the end of this hall," Layla pointed out for me as we walked into the house. "I made sure that I put them in there before we left for the game." "Thank you," I said with a smile. I took my clothes out of the bag and placed them on the counter. Reaching back into my bag, I recognized that there was some key items that I was missing. I sucked my teeth and turned the shower on. After a bit of thinking, I opened the bathroom door and yelled out, Hey, Layla?" "Yes, Jamichael? What you need?" she responded. I was hoping to give my hair a quick wash, but I forgot to pack my shampoo in the bag that I brought." "Don't worry, I'll go get it," Layla hurried. "I got it," Robert whispered. "Okay, and make sure you grab the conditioner too," Layla stated. "Hey, I know," Robert said with a laugh. "I got it." After that exchange, I closed the bathroom door and jumped right back into the shower. A minute or so passed by and I heard the door open. "Here you go," Robert said. I reached out the side of the shower curtain and grabbed the shampoo and conditioner that Robert delivered. "Thank you," I said. Yeah, no problem, Robert responded. So, must get pretty expensive, right? Having to make sure you have all that stuff you need to take care of your hair. Uh, I responded. I mean, it can be, I guess. Especially if you have to buy all the separate things in bulk. Hmm, Robert said. That makes sense. Well, I'll leave you to it. Make sure you come out and holler at me before you head out, okay? Will do, I called back. Once I was dressed and out of the bathroom, I was immediately tackled with love. My younger siblings wrapped themselves around my legs and waist, begging me not to leave. Wait, they said in unison. Don't go. Y'all, let your brother go, Layla ordered. Fine, they reluctantly agreed. One by one, I picked up Nova, Joseph, and Matthew, giving them the biggest hugs. Afterwards, I turned towards Layla and hugged her too. Thank you for everything, I said. Of course, she sighed. Just make sure you don't be gone for too long. Don't be a stranger, okay? She said with a serious face. If looks could kill, huh? I laughed. No, 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 Layla responded. I just want you to know that I'm serious. Come see us soon. I will, I said, giving Layla one more hug before I headed over to the garage. Once I made it there, I reached to press the button that would open the garage door, but it had already been done. Robert was already on the far left side of the garage, starting his workout. He stopped what he was doing and walked towards me, joining me on my stroll back to my car. I appreciate you swinging by, man. I know the kids were real happy to see you, he said plainly. I'm always glad to see them, I responded. You sure? Robert cut me off. I stopped on a dime and turned towards Robert, chuckling to myself. I began to rub my chin and then asked, is there something you want to get off your chest? It's been almost 2 years, Robert sharply stated. Okay. And, how long has it been before then? I asked. And before that time, too. You recognize for the last handful of times that we've seen one another, it's because I've made the effort to come see y'all. Robert slowly turned while clearing his throat. He turned back towards me. Listen, I'm sorry, Robert said. I know we've never had the easiest dynamic between us, but I do think about you. I miss you. I do want us to be on good terms. It's just really easy for me to get caught up in what I want, especially when the kids ask about their big brother. And then the next time they see you, you look like a completely different person to them. I mean, you heard Sam? He said he could hardly tell you were my son. I know, I finally responded. I mentioned to Layla that I started growing my hair out because it's something I've never done before. I had never experienced it, and that's true. But what's making it worth keeping is the fact that it makes me look a little less like you. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed the work, tell a friend to tell a friend to listen in. You can also stay up to date on the latest episodes by subscribing to whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. The Marked by Words podcast was brought to you by me, Jamichael Prude, and hopes to bring forth creativity through storytelling and conversations highlighting a myriad of subjects. Thank you for listening.